Hi friends, I am Dylan, and this is Toy Lips, but they got them toys on their lips. Now, this set here needs no introduction, but it's called Toy Lips, and for a minute, I'ma flap 'em. This is the one, the only Turtles in Disguise 4-pack, a Target exclusive, but they did run an open pre-order for a week on the NECA store, so that is awesome. Now, I never ran into these in the wild, though my good friend Kevin did, and we are shouting him out. A friend and a father and a shredder, not the shredder. Many thanks, friend. Huge leagues. He actually caught that NECA rep spilling the cream. He sopped up a little and sent it my way. I know, I sat on this for a minute, but I didn't have a channel yet. I was working up to it. And my other dear friend was like, you gotta open that on camera. But I wasn't ready. Some people might be like, what's the point of reviewing it now? Well, none of those NECA pre-orders have shipped out yet, so there'll be a whole new wave of friends fiercely fisting. Plus, for me, for my own sick satisfaction of having it archived here for all of eternity. And like DW said, it's like, do I even have a toy if I didn't review it? Anyway, thanks for making the choice to check this out. You can follow Toy Lips on Twitter and Instagram, where I'm putting up pictures of this stuff all the time. And subscribe, leave a like, and we will get into this. And out of the package, these are awesome. Just righteous. Just Chevy Nova? All that said, I want to jump into a quick take on the cartoon turtle aesthetic with old Donatello over here. If you guys have seen some version of these before, you know mostly what to expect. These look fantastic, much more so now than ever with these brand new heads. With the swappable parts, you've got something like, 8 expression combinations for every turtle. So cool. So cool. Look at that. I mean, little imperfections in your mass market toy notwithstanding, these things look outstanding. New bandana style here. It's hinged, so you can twist that any which way. That is a fantastic little update on what is, again, essentially the same buck that they've been giving us. Some people are kind of confused and like, oh no, it's a whole new body. Oh, wow. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like I think that the only things that are different, just let it go. We'll work our way down to them. These really nice two-tone painting for the cartoon figures. It seems a little less severe, the shading on it. It's going to be darker on the one half. They're really going for that cartoon aesthetic, especially with the heavy black lines. It really sells it. So do the new heads. I mean, they looked real serious before, and maybe more like the intro, but still not even. It was like a higher quality animation there as opposed to what you got episode to episode. They were a little more wacky looking, But and you can see all the way inside the mouth there. It's not just like painted on. It goes deep. And that is cool. We get this standard, the carapace here, the front of the shell, the back of the shell. Logo, each turtle's little letter on there, so they don't forget who's who, right? Sculpted, man turtle muscle, Jeep inside of there. These nice belts, they're this soft rubber. Just a little almost hand-painted looking crudeness to the lines. And maybe they are, man. Maybe somebody had to come in here and brush all these by hand. I really don't know. Here are the first of the differences, though, beyond the head, I mean. There's just a couple other ones. It's the joint style that they've used. It's on a ball peg for the thighs, as opposed to this hinge thing like it used to be. And then at the feet, they're not just pegged sort of straight in. They are hinged. So you get a good deal more range out of that, which is really nice. Otherwise, though, I think they're the exact same turtles that we have seen several times before. But this is another chance to score the cartoon turtles that everyone is after. And originally you're looking at them online and you're like, well, they're all glossy. And it's really not near as bad in comparison as you would think when you're looking at them in hand. I get there's a lot of high shine when you put lights on them for the camera, but it's not nearly as bizarre as you would think. Really nice looking shell. It's a little softer, you know what I'm saying? And even softer still is this belt. You can port his weapon in there. Him and Leo have proper weapon storage, and then Raph and Mikey, of course, you just put it in on the sides because they are all pretty much the same except the belts and the colors. So you've seen one, you've seen them all. Look at them again. Lovely. So for the articulation segment, let's pick out old cool but rude Raphael. Yeah, looking really sharp. I tried to pick expressions to start with that I thought matched the turtle all right. He's just kind of looking off, doing his own thing, holding his size in a couple of more unique ways that he can with these hands. Which, you're blocking a sword, you don't want to grip it like that. That's for stabbing and thrusting. Know what I'm saying? Okay, You've seen these before. You probably understand the articulation. We're not going to spend all friggin' day here. But we will go over the little stuff that is new. This head, of course, is up on this ball joint, up on this peg. And you get some really good forward and back because the neck also moves. So you can look down quite a bit, back quite a bit. This bandana is hinged and will twist all the way around. Hey, that is just a great little thing for expression there. Shoulders are ball jointed. They'll come all the way up like that. They will rotate all the way around. You get the bicep cut. That moves just fine. I set all of these in front of a little space heater. NECA stuff especially, I think you're going to have stiffness with your joints. So be very careful. They can and will break. I've had good luck. I broke a couple of Jazzwares toys, actually. How dare they? Okay, you get a hinge here, single jointed elbow. So it's only going to come to about 90 there. Doubles would be sick in this regard, but we're reusing these bodies. But we have made slight tweaks, which is cool. Hinge at the pegged in hand. Be careful again with these. If you're really seized up around the hands or the feet, maybe those are the ones that might break on you. Going to be the same thing on the other side, of course. But underneath the shell here, you can see this is split in twain, and you get some really good movement inside of there. It will rock and twist, and he can crunch forward and back a decent amount for having a big shell on there. These are, of course, softer, more malleable material. This will twist all the way around. My Donnie was like this, but his feet were on the wrong legs. Scary. Be careful, friends. Now, the old ones, they were like a hinge. It was a ball. It was a thigh on a ball joint, but it was like hinged out. This just gives you a little more freedom being on this peg. So that's cool. It will come all the way out to the side and forward. It will come straight up. Back, it's restricted by that shell, but not too much, really. I mean, you can bring it out to the side a little. Single jointed. No, it is a double jointed knee in there, isn't it? Yeah. It just works around that knee pad. So you're not going to be able to come all the way up with it, but they're all right. They're only a little stiff for being ninja. Now, again, the foot is on this hinge. It's not just pegged straight into the thing anymore. You'll get a little more movement there. You can bend it down that way, forward this much, and you get some decent side-to-side rocking movement there. Actually, that'll come like way up. So that is rad. You can get some fairly deep stances, dynamic poses with these. Showing! So what this set really is a complete set of the Cartoon Ninja Turtles, as well as a whole heap of accessories. You get all the characters' signature weapons, a couple styles of pizza. Look at this, a more traditional, on a tray even, or perhaps a pizza stone, for anyone who wants to know what one of those is. And then we get this fun one here with anchovies and ice cream. Look at these sad little fish. Nice textures, just beautifully detailed too, painted. That's awesome. That is really awesome. Same for the weapons. We'll get a little closer while we're here. Know what I'm saying? Know what I mean? Standard swords they've been giving us the whole time with the little holes visible on the one end. Sai. Same deal. You got a clean side and a mold side. Single bow staff. Two-parter so that you can get it in the hand or in the sheath easier. Really nice texturing, nice and uneven, like it's a real hunk of wood and you just thrash somebody with it. Probably we've drilled out the ends and filled them with lead because we're, Donnie's mean-spirited like that, right? This nice hat, the weird pizza hat. Could throw this on any of these fellas. Skateboard. Really nicely detailed. Get this thing stamped on here. Seems a little big. I feel like the skateboards run a little big, but these guys are tiny, right? But, you've all seen skateboards before, right? It does have wheels that spin. The thing rolls. The hare and the tortoise. Picture on the back. Their favorite bedtime story. Nicely simulated little pages in there, the way that's sculpted. Single slice of pizza. Big old boombox. The handle, this is just sculpted in place there. There's even, these lines are sculpted in and painted. That's great. They didn't have to do any of that. Hasbro, they are not. Perhaps the worst of my QC issues, though. Old Pigeon Pete. He's missing a whole entire leg. And you can bet this is glued in there too. And that is a nice clean peg hole. There's nothing was ever in there. I'll put the picture up here where you can study it in my unboxing video and see that it is missing. And I didn't notice it until I got into it. And I was like, why won't he stand? Oh no, Pete, that's not all. That's not all. You get all of these disguises for sweet trench coats, some Lane Bryant stretch pants, right? These are really nicely tailored, these little coats here. They hang pretty well. I mean, I usually think that clothes at this scale are maybe hit or miss, but these are hit. You get the nicely popped collar, maybe work it in just a touch. It's elastic around the sleeves up here too, so it fits snugly. That's really nice. This is a real working buckle that you would thread this through. And actual pockets that you can cram their hands into. All of the heads, the faces, the masks that are just actually essentially swappable heads. And those come in 2 flavors, Dopey and Confused. Tune shading going on there. You get 2 of each, and you get 4 of these identical hats. These are looking really sweet. Sorry about your chucks there, bro. But wait, there's more! All of these hands and the swappable head pieces. And you know what, while we're here, throw them all in. We've disassembled all of their heads. Oh, I know, this is kind of nightmare fuel stuff here. Some of these, when you accidentally break one loose on the face. Mikey! So that's odd, right? So as far as trying to look at this in any kind of efficient manner, I know it's just a whole mess of stuff here. You got 2 of each of the 4 kinds of mouth part, and then 2 eye styles for each turtle. To do this thing righteously, you would just select one of each, and even just swapping the eyes on a different mouth creates a different look. There he's all smiley, yet serious, perhaps determined, like I am to make this work. Let's just pop it through with a tool. Look at that, you just push that from the bottom. Whatever you got, your mileage may vary. Sometimes I can pop them right out with my pinky. More good-natured looking eyes on there, and he's just smiling all sincerely. Really looking longingly at you, huh? Same thing for, like, put these on here and he's angry, he's shouting at you, a little perturbed. And now it's a look of shock and surprise, perhaps. Shock and horror. Really, really cool aspect of this set. The insanity continues with the high fiving and sewer surfing hands. Couple sets of thumbs up, hitchhiking hero hands. And then 1 set of the pointing or sword touching hands here, like this, and the one with the slightly more splayed grip. And you can get creative with these for different ways to hold their different weapons, size, swords, even chucks. You can see I've got this one doing like this. And you could plug the other chuck into this part of it. I don't want to ruin anything right here, though. We're just gonna, you get the idea. And as far as QC issues go, that bird is the worst of it, missing his little leg. But you'll see that not all the pegs are created equal on the hands. Some of them are a little slimmer on the mushroom there. These seem fine. I had one earlier that was a bit loose in one of Raphael's wrists and just one of his only. So it was a combination of his socket being a little big and the peg being a little smooth. But overall, this is pretty nice. And here's a couple of our boys rocking those disguises in various states of undress. Mikey looking on with wonder and amusement. Okay, for a fair check of the height, we have worked Donnie up to fully erect, and they are about 5.5 inches tall in a 7-inch scale. Coming with those comparisons, we'll go right for the good stuff. Bebop and Rocksteady from, of course, the same NECA Ninja Turtles cartoon toy line. And that's where we'll live for a minute, because that's the fair way to do it. That's what everybody wants to see, right? A bunch of the turtle toys all standing next to each other, looking real sharp. Krang and the Shredder. Krang over there in his android body like, my body. And I'm like, has my dad been doing a Ninja Turtles reference my whole life? It's fun to think about the impact this stuff had on you, impacting others in a different context, you know? Shut them lips up, Krang. You guys know that Shredder was voiced by Uncle Phil, right? That is probably like the most fun bit of trivia from that show for me. How about a little roadkill Rodney and a foot soldier? They are just beautiful, beautiful representations of the cartoon that I remember. Where, like, I, no kidding, look at these and it brings back memories of that era, of being like a tiny little child with my little baby lips. You know what I'm saying? We got Leatherhead and we got Slash. You know what? That was maybe like my biggest disappointment from that show, from the cartoon, was the introduction of this character Slash. It was like one of my favorite toys from that toy line, billed as the evil turtle from Dimension X. And he just looked so savage, dude, just this badass. And then he debuts on the cartoon and he's just a goober. Like, what is that? What is that? They thought maybe the toy design, the bigger influence would just be too much for little kids. But that was a big disappointment for me. And I was probably like 4, 5 years old. And so it's like, you don't have a big frame of reference at that age, right? And so it's like, that's probably one of the most disappointing things that had ever happened to me at that point. Ridiculous. Sweet figure, though. These are all just great. Beautiful, beautiful toys. Triceraton Infantry and April O'Neil. On the show, these were these soldiers, you know what I mean? But from the toy line and whatever, it was more like just its own unique figure. I vividly remember going with my little brother and my late great-grandfather to the Target store over by Washington Square and picking out Triceraton. Shane and I both picked out a Triceraton. It was like that, you know what I mean? It was just such a cool, bright orange, muscular Triceratops man toy. It's wild, the things that you hold on to. Okay, these turtles have got me wanting to throw it way back. So these are my two favorite toys from my childhood right here. On the right, of course, that is a vintage 1988 Leonardo from Playmates Toys. That's actually the original Leonardo, not mine. I found it later. The accessories are from a reissue I picked up from like the 1999 reissues. I think that sounds right. Now that second edition Wolverine, though, that was my favorite toy from like 8 to like 10 years old. And that is an original. I gave it to a friend's little brother eventually, and when he went to get rid of him, he gave me my pick again, and I took that dude back. That's probably number 3 or so, though, because the left arm kept breaking. You guys remember. But man, creamiest of the creamy from Toy Biz right there. I remember being in like a Payless drugstore whenever that was a thing, man, and finding that dude. So hot. I remember telling my dad that I would pay $100 for that toy when I was a little-ass kid. Fortunately, they were only $4.99. The turtles were $3.99. What a world. Before I shake anything else up, I want to do my standard 6-inch figure comparison, the Hasbro Marvel Legends 2 Emo for Pizza Spider-Man and the Marvel Legends Morning Coffee Mostly Bucky Cap Deadpool. I think the turtles pretty much at the size they are fit in pretty well with the basic 1/12 scale. All right, before I move totally out of the segment, Leo was my favorite turtle. I wanted to throw him up next to some other iterations. You know, it's my favorite turtle as a child, really, for no other reasons than I liked the swords, and blue is my favorite color. From left to right here, we have this awful Playmates reissue, or just the original issue, I think, from like 2014 when these first came around, and they were $25 a pop. They did the 4 turtles, Bebop, Rocksteady. I got suckered into all of them. There's just been no cool turtles in a very, very long time. I guess I couldn't wait 2 more years. Really posable, nice in that regard. I don't know what I did to the weapons, but they look a little goofy. But it's meant to be just like a super articulated throwback turtle, and it's not that bad. I mean, we got much better offerings these days, though. He's got articulated fingers, so there's that, and articulated toes. Okay, and then of course we have the NECA movie Ninja Turtles Leo, looking just fantastic. And right next to him, that's our boy there, the cartoon. They both look just spot-on representations, don't they? And then on the right there, that is from the Batman crossover comic series, animated movie style, from what, DC Collectibles? DC Direct Collectibles? Yeah, no, and those are really, really solid figures. And finally, here are the other major releases from NECA on this body. You can see over here is the OG cartoon turtle, the style guide colors, and on the far right, that is the video game colors. This set is out of sight. Totally tubular. No, they're not tube-shaped. This isn't some kind of snake boogie. This is a turtle tango with truly the finest representations of the 4 brothers in figure form. NECA has knocked this out of the park. The sculpts are a refinement on what was already working well. The paint on mine is really clean, no mistakes or misfires, and the articulation is ample for Ninja from NECA. The accessories are what really blow me away. just above and beyond. QC issues with these products notwithstanding, it's the inclusion of all these extras that let you know that there are people on the team that really care. Some love went into this. The articulation could certainly be improved. Double jointed arms, butterfly shoulders, and calf cuts would be bodacious. They are martial artists after all. And QC issues always suck. Poor Pigeon Pete is missing an entire leg. Fortunately, I don't care about that, but Donnie's feet were on the wrong legs. That was a close call. Otherwise, this avalanche of accessories and updates to the tooling are enough, in my mind, to warrant a purchase, even if you already have a version of these turtles. And if you don't, this set really is as good as it gets. But nothing is perfect. 4.75 out of 5? The fanboy in me would give this a 6 out of 5. I am floored, but I am exactly who this was made for. Big shout out to the NECA Turtle team for making this thing a reality. And for running those open pre-orders on the site, man. That's huge. And a big thanks to all of you watching, making this happen for me. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow me on Insta, and I will see you festive figure fisters later.
I got fingers on my lips, toys that I'm touching, I don't want to put them down, instead I want to talk about them, yes, fresh. Smell the plastic that I crave, I want to shop, I can't be having Bruce Banner. I'm Dr. Rubber Band on Bruce Jenner, and you can call me after dinner, we can talk comic books, but we're here to talk toys, be proud, make noise.